This is a video on how to diagnose and replace your alternator. And this is a 1986 RAV4. This is the voltage at the battery. Just it standing, one on the negative terminal, and make sure there are good connections. And I just put a jumper on this one to make it easier. So we got 12.37. And here's the alternator. This is the one that goes to the battery to charge it, and another electrical connection, and your drive belt there. Basically, the symptoms on this car is the battery light just came on the dash, and so far that's the only symptom. So let's note the voltage right there and start up the car. Now when the car is running, it should be around 14 and a half volts. And so I'm gonna start up the car, and with the engine started, I'm gonna disconnect the negative terminal of the battery, and the car, if it's a good alternator, the car should continue to run. So I'm gonna go start up the car right now. Okay, see, you can see the battery light on right there, and that's the seatbelt light and the door open. So let's go see our voltage. Let's see, my lead go up. Okay, put it back on. And we have 12 volts, which isn't good. Should be, like I said, 14 or so, 14 and a half. And this is what the engine started. And now with if I rev the engine at the throttle here, it should go up. So actually it's going down, because right now the car is just running on the sole power basically of the battery and just draining the battery. So I'm going to take this negative terminal off the battery, and if the engine dies, then you definitely have a bad alternator. And there it goes. It's dead. Bad alternator. I'm going to replace it now. Take off this connection right here, slide that off. There's an adjusting bolt here and another bolt right here that locks it on. One right there. And I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you the rest. And one more thing, I'm going to show you another how you could read voltage. There's the meter, got one lead on the negative, and now I'm going to put my other positive lead on the alternator. This is the battery, this is where it makes power. Put it there, and 12 volts. That's another way to read voltage. And one more thing before you start disconnecting the alternator and start to change it, make sure you disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, just got the alternator out, and this bolt here goes through the alternator. That's a 14, and this one, let's see, right here is a 12. And right here, that is a 12, I believe. That's the belt tensioner. And to loosen that up, push the alternator down, and this is the belt. I just have a bungee holding it up, but it doesn't really matter if you drop it. It doesn't look like it's hard to get back on there. And there was this electrical bracket on the alternator. That's a 8. And you just take all those bolts off and wiggle it up. frame here with the bolt out, and that's how you get it out. Okay, here is the new, and here's the old one right next to it. Got this one on Amazon. This is 100% brand new, and I got it on Amazon because it's almost half price for a rebuilt one that you would typically get at the auto parts store. And it's 100% brand new, so you don't have to mess with turning in the core or anything like you would at the auto parts store. It's all brand new. It looks good. This one was about 87 bucks. I mean, it's all 100% brand new. It is made in China, but for the price you're getting, I mean, for 100% brand new, it's even cheaper than a rebuilt one from the parts store. This is a quality built brand. It has a 2-year road assistance and free technical support, and it's well packed. So everything looks good on it. And they give you, the warranty info, I suppose, save your receipt and all that. And one thing on if your car won't start because the battery was completely drained from the bed alternator, you would have to put the battery on a charger before you do this, because you don't want to put a big load on the alternator when you put the new one in. But this battery still starts the car, and it still has 12.5 volts in it, so I'm not going to do that. So I was trying to put the new one in, and it didn't want to go in. Let's see if I get a good shot of it. Where is it? It didn't want to go in because there was like a sleeve inside this hole that was sticking out. So I had to get a hammer and a screwdriver to kind of punch it back through that side. I don't know if you could see it. There's like a sleeve inside the hole, so I had to push it out towards the passenger tire, so that way the new alternator could slide in without being stuck by that little sleeve that's sticking out. Okay, I just got the alternator in. What you do is you put that big bolt on, let's see, my finger, right there, and leave this one down here off, and this alternator wedges on this side, and then it fits in between here once you get that sleeve pushed back the other way. And you leave that bolt off down here, so that way you can get the belt on. And once you get the belt on, make sure it's on there good on the bottom 2 pulleys. Make sure it's on track. And then right here is where you make the belt tighter. This is 12 mil, and you just tighten it until you get the belt pretty snug. I like to do them about a 1/4 inch of play between the 2 furthest pulleys. And then once you get the belt where you want it, then you just go ahead and tighten that bolt. Before you tighten the belt, make sure you put this bolt in loosely. Then you could tighten the belt and make sure it's on the track good. And then you put the wire connector there. This is for the battery. Goes between the 2 nuts there to make that kind of snug. There's a bracket for this wire connection here. You gotta take that little nut off and put this on. That's 8 mil, and this wire connection, this kind of clamps, goes in the connector there. Cloth electrical tape. The old insulation just broke off because it's old and brittle. Make sure everything's good. Make sure you got all your stuff out of here. And I'm gonna start it up right now and see how it runs. Okay, started the car, and everything seems to be working fine. I put my meter on the battery. We got 14.5 volts, which is good. And so that's the battery. So let's give you the battery 14.5 volts. And now what you could do is take one lead off, the positive lead off, and we'll go. I'll put it directly on the alternator connector. We put it right there, and you can see the alternator is putting out that much voltage, 14.5, and now I'm going to disconnect the negative battery, and the car won't shut off. So, there we go. Just a little change in noise there because the alternator does have a little load because it's charging the battery back up. I'll put it back on. And I hope this video helped.